let's start with something which perhaps could sound not related to this dynamic map, but you'll see this is a fundamental principle you need to know in Illustrator, and perhaps that will help in another scenario. So when you create a new document, you have in fact the new dialog box there in Illustrator CC. You have your recent document, your clipboard, or your templates, etc. You have a saved profile document. And after that, you have something we name profiles. So if you want to design a document for mobile, for web, for print, video, or art, you have some predefined presets of document. But you can see there the presets will set up for you for an intent, for illustration or for web or for print. It will set up for you something like color mode, CMYK or RGB, but it will also set up for you some other things like, for example, the document raster effect settings, or for example, the transparency flattener preset, etc., etc. So it will do under the hood some presets, some setup for you. And if you're using you're clicking on the more settings, so you can see there in the old legacy dialog box, that's named profile, document profile by default. And you can see we have everything on this tab mentioned there, and an extra one because you can create your own. So that's the one I'm talking about, and you can see the raster effect, the preview mode in the advanced section. So everything is setting up for you on this dialog box. So let's cancel this one and just pick one. Let's pick a print one, A4 CMYK. So if I'm clicking on this one, you can see that default Illustrator, have some libraries already filled in. I'm not talking there about the CC libraries, and they are pretty new, by the way, regarding the life of Illustrator. But in the legacy Illustrator, you have a lot of panels, so actually 3 or 4, I think, with libraries. So you have the graphic style libraries, you have the Swatches libraries, so with a lot of predefined libraries for you. You can have your own one, you can save. You have also brushes, so it's a starting point. So if you're working for a print environment, perhaps you want to pick some color already existing there, or to try some graphic style. So by default it's not empty, so they come with something. So that's also a purpose of a profile. If I'm picking another one, let's say web, and doing the same thing, you will see it's more vivid, you have different symbol, different graphics, it's not the same purpose, and again you can select one of these libraries just here. So why I'm talking about that? Because you can create your own, and because you can personalize what you want on your libraries, and also as the presets. Again, for example, in place of a screen, that could be medium, that could be higher, that could be over, etc., etc. So you can define that, and when you will create a document, it will use these presets for you by default, and you don't have to redo and redo again the same extra step. Like I said earlier, you can create your own profile, and also you can modify the default profile. Again, place there, mention there, or mention there. They are in a secret location, but it's not so secret. I will show you where in a minute. And so you can, it's a regular Illustrator file named print, and you can just open it, modify, empty some library, add your content, modify your settings on this document, and that's it. A profile couldn't contain a structure of layer, content on it, etc., etc. It will just focus on the presets of your document and your libraries. That's it. So just to let you know. After that, just to give you an indication, you can also create templates. The templates will have everything, the presets, etc. And on top, you could have a structure of layer, could have already placed content, etc. That's the difference between a profile there and a template. But sometimes I just want to have an empty document, but with the right preset. I don't want to use a template, for example, like this one or this one, which is more complex, more stuff. Sometimes you just need to go quicker to an empty file with empty document, but with the right scenario of presets, color intent, etc., etc. So how to modify the existing and how to create your own? In fact, it's pretty simple because the profile is an Illustrator file, a .ai. So you need on Macintosh to go to your Finder, go in the Go menu, and if you hold down the Option key, previously named Alt, you will see that library appears there. So, and if you click there, you will arrive in the right section. It's an hidden folder. Go in the application support, Adobe, and Adobe Illustrator 21 for me because it's Illustrator CC 2017, and you will find normally a single folder of language. Because I installed two languages, my main language is French and the English International, so I have two folders. But don't be worried about that. Normally you will find your own, and you have new document profiles there. You can see I have the habits to when I want to modify something, to zip, to select. On Macintosh it's pretty simple. You select, you click, and you say compress to zip the original file before modifying them. And because of this video, I already replaced the original in this folder and zipped my custom one for the after the video. So profile, like I said, is an Illustrator file. So let's open the print one. And in the print one, you can see now it's not untitled dash what you want. It's the real profile open. So the only thing you need to modify and to create your own custom stuff is just to, for example, to select and to delete the graphic style. You can also modify. You can't delete the default one because the default is called by Illustrator when you're doing something, for example, like that. Let's try to do this, to make another color, to use another stroke, etc. When you press on this one, it will call the default there, the default graphic style. But you can modify it, by the way, and that's the reason why I'm showing you these tips on how to modify your profile of a document, especially if you create a new one, not this one. This printed one is your default, but you can create a map one or perhaps just modify the print if it's more convenient for you. In this case, let me just click on these icons that could be with a selection or without a selection, and in this case I can open the Appearance panel. The Appearance panel is the place where all the graphics attribute, the appearance of your path is setting up. So by default you can have one stroke, one fill, with some the stroke inside, outside. You can have caps, corner, dash, arrowhead, some profile of the stuff, but you can also have different stroke, more stroke, we will cover that later, more fill. You can add FX to the entire appearance or to only the stroke, etc., etc. We'll cover that later. But so, for example, in the tutorial that will follow about the map, we will have to have the default appearance of our path by none on stroke and none on fill. So how can I just now override the default one? Because if I'm clicking there, it will come back to this default. So I don't want that. I want to say known and known. So just grabbing and drag and drop this thumbnail there of this custom appearance, I have the ability to drag it in the graphic style, but you can see with this blue line, it proposes me only to create a new one, not to override this one. The tricks there is just to hold down the Alt key option on Mac, Alt on Windows, and it will allow you to override the default. So now, if I'm selecting this one, which was the previous default, and pressing on this little button, or just hold on the D key, that will be my default, which will be called. And now I have an empty, no fill, no color shape. So you can also say select all unused brushes. There is some default, you can't delete. Same for your symbol, you can say select unused, and you can delete and perhaps replace by your own if you need some graphic style, and we will need that. For example, if you have a lot of roadmap to do, perhaps it will be better to already fill your graphic style, your colors, etc., etc. That's how you can modify. So if I'm saving the print document, you can see no symbol, no brushes, no graphic style. I don't have to restart Illustrator for that. Just new document, let's say print, let's say A4, let's say create, and now no brushes, no extra brushes, no symbol, no graphic style, and I didn't touch to the color, but that will be the same. If you want to have global color by default, you can just do that. For example, there is overways, but that's not the purpose of this one. And it's just one time. It's painful to do that by your own. There is other tricks and tips to do that in automation, but let's focus on the simple one because normally you will do that only one time. So let's save. Oh, sorry, that was not the right one, that was print. I can override also the print, etc., etc. So I think you get the point. So that's how I build a new one. Now let's say this one is my map. We will save here, name it, for example, map, and I like to add a number in case I'm doing several versions, and just put that in the new document profiles folder. If I save, I can say now new document. I will not have in this list there, but if I'm going there, I will have my map already there and easy to create. And that's it. My global color, my graphic style by default, which is anti, etc., etc. So that's it. On Windows, because I don't have any Windows just present there. I have some Windows, but not in my PlayStation there. I did just a simple research in Google or any search engine, and I found this link. I will put this link on the description of this video, so don't be worried. But in case of you have an emergency, you can just Google it by yourself over, and you'll find a way to find the location on Windows too. The next video will cover more deeply the graphic style and the appearance.